Amy, you've got something yourself.
Yeah, I do have something to give away, but I wanted to tell you about this email first because it's very funny. This is from Mick Clairvoyant, who I think you know.
Yeah. Come on, Mick.
Yes.
Long time. Yeah, okay.
Now, Mick says, where I live in Whitby, there are several small satellite towns, each with their own women's circles and guilds.
Yeah.
All the results from the various competitions are posted in the local newspaper in the club report section.
I see.
And one in particular features a woman who in 2 years has never failed to win a weekly prize. It's usually a spoon or something like that.
Yeah.
But amongst others, she has won a packet of seeds, an unusual daffodil bulb, a box of mixed tea bags.
Very good.
Some stuffing. That was for the Christmas photo competition. A fresh trout, a jar of coriander, a large onion, a cake baked by the second prize winner, a blueberry muffin, and a tape featuring the sound of running water.
Oh, hang on. You see, I was going to say to you, the great thing about Mick is that they have a grain of truth, but he cannot help. He had to Mick the clairvoyant barber, who is a long time, devotee and acolyte. He has inside his head. This is what is inside Mick's head. 24 hours a day. This sound. What can I write about next?
Well, he says there's also a monthly prize giving the winner the right to wear Mrs. Heaton's beret.
This is no, Mick. You see, we were with you just for a. We were with you.
This is a hat bequeathed by a much-loved deceased member.
This is nonsense.
Our lady friend has won this coveted prize on no fewer than 8 occasions in the last year.
There is even up in Whitby, where he lives, and that there is no such prize as wearing a deceased woman's hat. It's a lovely thought.
It is.
The rest of it I'll buy, although why he would go up there and jot them down every week, I don't know. But he's suggesting that, and we are asking this morning, what have you won? And please take away something good. I mean, look at this. Mountain Goat's been up to the mine and brought back DVDs of Spencer Tracy, Catherine Hepburn, Adam's Rib. You've only got to ring us up. One of these dumb questions I'm throwing out, answer it. Double Bill, Tony Hancock, The Punch and Judy Man and The Rebel, both on the same DVD. True Romance Director's Cut, the Jerry Anderson book, The Railway Children, The Swallows and Amazons on the same DVD. The Chris Morris DVD, box sets of Citizen Smith. We want to give it away, not tease you and say just loads and loads of questions. Ring us up, and if you've got stories about things you've won, you're not getting anything for that, Mick. 0207 224 2000. What have you won, or what have you seen given as a prize? Well, okay, I'll give you this. I don't know. I didn't think it straight off the bat. I've only been caravanning a couple of times, but I was down in the Isle of Wight, and I woke up. There was about 19 of us in one caravan. And it was about 50 feet away from the next caravan. And I got up early one morning. I'm quite prone to get up early, Kate. And I opened the caravan door. And I stood in the door of the caravan, stretching, and you only think, oh, well, what are we going to do today, giving it some of that? No one else was up. Well, in fact, one other fellow was up, this fellow called John Ward, who was a very good friend of ours. And I opened the caravan door, like, inwards, yeah? And he has come and stood behind the caravan door. He's just standing there. So I didn't think he's up to anything. Now, in front of us at the other caravan, 50 feet away, a nice woman, but a proper mum, was putting out the washing on the line. Now, he's looking through the crack in the door because he's behind it. And I'm just standing there, and she went, oh, I said, okay. And then he went, and I used the word ass in terms of dogs. He went, but he didn't use the British variant. He went, morning, fat ass! And she looked straight round, and there I am standing in the door of the caravan. And I went, I just couldn't think what to say. And she gave me such a look and turned away. He went, I said, good morning, fat ass! And she looked round, and there, she just see this man standing, and he's shouting through the crack in the door. And I'm trying to go, it's someone behind, you'll get me in trouble. Murderous, absolutely murderous. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we cross to the Sarawak coast. We're sitting on a pile of silken cushions. Here's Britain's leading rap star and various things. I've got a little letdown for you, David, a little letdown.
Why?
Well, I've left the Ian Dury CD indoors, so we won't be doing that this morning.
Why don't you get back into bed?
No, please don't. We'll do it on Monday. How do you feel about that? What do you feel about that?
I was up all night learning it.
Well, you see, here's the thing. I had a bit of a late night myself, and I came in with various things, but did you really? You've learned it and everything.
Why don't you get back into bed?
Yeah, I know. So half of me's glad I didn't bring it. No,
Never mind.
I tease you. Look what I've got over here. Look what I've got over here, by the way. And that's on the way. It's here, David. Listen to his heart leap. Here's the sound of David's heart. That's the sound of his heart at the moment. He's looking forward to it. We're going to attempt the land speed record for a man. The last couple of 3 days, in fact, all week, he's been attempting the Enduri songs, and I've literally been stopped by strangers in the street saying, has the man really no sense of rhythm? Because he should be in some kind of Barnum and Bailey's glass case. I've never heard anyone who cannot pick up a tune like the Quo. But you did try this last night indoors with a sheet of paper.
I did, yes, thank you very much.
And Mrs. Quo going, David, what are you doing in there? A lot of that was there.
A little, yeah. My son came down and says, can you turn that music down, please?
Were you rapping along with the record?
I was, yeah.
Well, in a moment. So what's the first story you have for us?
Right, I've got two on the menu today. The first one is John Lewis.
No, let's do it now. Here we go.
Are we going?
Well, on your marks, gentlemen, start your engines. Don't worry about get back into bed thing. Like, take that as a given, because that's on here anyway. Get back into bed. Why don't you get back into bed? He's finding the groove. Ladies and gentlemen, land speed record. Mr. David Cross, get back into bed. I'll be Enduri. Reasons to be cheerful. 1, 2, 3.
Summer Buddy Holly.
Yeah, he's wrong already.
What?
Oh, man.
I come in after 3.
No, you didn't. You came in on 3.
Yeah.
That was just the
It's
worst.
1,
How
2,
can you fool
3,
it? How long were you up
then go.
rehearsing this? How long were you up rehearsing this? Listen to the groove, man. Listen to the beat. Summer Buddy Holly, like a child.
Snap your fingers, David. That will help you. Snap your fingers.
I am.
4, 1, into bed. Here we go. I can't believe he fell at the first. Get back into bed. Here we go. Reasons to be cheerful. 1, 2, 3.
Summer Buddy Holly, the Working Folly, the Golly Miss Molly and Boats. Hammersmith Palais.
What were you playing? Pinky and Perky version on 78? It's just all over the place.
No, it wasn't.
It does. It's
You're slow. You leave too much of a gap between the sentences.
Summer Buddy Holly, the Working Folly, Good Golly Miss Molly and Boats.
Hammersmith Palais.
You can hear us, can't you? You're not just reading this off a book. It's not a spelling bee. You've got to actually
Maybe we
hear.
need to get the metronome
Feel
back.
the drums. Feel the drums. That's it. You know, free your head and your ass will follow. Here we go. Get back into bed. Ladies and gentlemen.
Why don't you get back into
Ladies and
bed?
gentlemen. Why don't you get back into bed? It's so easy. Just give it. Reasons to be cheerful. 1, 2, 3.
Summer Buddy Holly, the Working Folly, Good Golly Miss Molly and Boats. Hammersmith Palais, the Bolshoi Ballet. 18-wheelers camels, Dominica camels, all other animals plus equal votes.
What now? What's happened now? I preferred it, but what did you do there?
You know, David, if you get this right, you get to go on stage with them instead.
Yeah.
I mean,
We didn't tell
surely you
this.
need some kind of
Well,
incentive.
you didn't know that the blockheads actually got in touch yesterday. They're enjoying this. How about if we didn't do it with the backing? How about if we didn't do it with the backing?
Well, how's that going to help?
I've no idea. Other than
can't
taking
make
you
it
out into the
worse.
car park and shooting you like a junkyard dog, I have no idea how we can improve this performance. Go, just try it. Just, is it physically possible to say the lyrics? Go on.
Just say the lyrics,
Just
okay.
with a little bit of,
Okay.
I don't expect you, to be Snoop Doggy Dogg. I don't expect that. But I'm expecting some kind of semblance of meter. Off you go.
Okay, Summer Buddy Holly, the Working Folly.
You give it some, man. It's Summer Buddy Holly, the Working Folly, Good Golly Miss Molly and Boats. Can't you hear that?
I can hear it. Okay.
Go on.
Okay, Summer Buddy Holly, the Working Folly, Good Golly Miss Molly and Boats.
Right, we've got something.
Hammersmith
Now,
Palais, the
hold
Bolshoi
on,
Ballet,
hold
jump
that
back in the alley, and nanny goes.
Hold that
Yes,
thought.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
here we just like that. Just like that. Just like that. Here we go. Just back into bed.
Why don't you get back into bed?
Why don't you get back into bed?
Why don't you get back into bed?
Reasons to be cheerful. 1, 2, 3.
Summer Buddy Holly, the Working Folly, Good Golly Miss Molly and Boats. Hammersmith Palais, the Bolshoi Ballet.
Stop it!
It's just torture. I can't bear it anymore.
Do you want the second story?
Second story. I'd like to take you to the second story and drop you out.
I thought I was doing okay there.
No. We can't put any air under that. No, we can't. No, we can't. It's all over. Oh no, that's it.
On 94.9 FM, this is BBC London.
And there were some belting things we were going to do.
Come in.
Have you ever made a fool of yourself in front of your parents? And I made a fool of yourself in front of your parents, because last night we were talking about the first time you've had a couple of post-theatre cocktails, and you go home and try and sit down dead straight and watch television, and say all of a sudden, "What's this then?" And your dad goes, "Oh." Making a fool of yourself in front of your parents, we was going to do. Dear Tommy Hodges, my friend Tommy Hodges, came home and gave it some of that, sat there, bubbles coming out his ears, and he thought his parents didn't know. "What's this then?" And they said, "Shall I take Pip for a walk?" That's their dog. And they said, "It's 20 past 12, what are you talking about?" He said, "I'll take Pip out, shall I? If you want." So he took Pip the dog out, and then at 20 past 2 he still wasn't back. So his dad went to look for him, and there's a building site about 4 doors down, and he was laying on a pile of sand, and Pip was laying next to him. His old man came along, and John Hannon, another friend of mine, was on his way home once, and I thought, well, I can't go in like this, they'll know. I don't know why that is, you lose that after a while, but the very first times perhaps you've had a couple of post-theatre cocktails. And outside, he lives in a block of flats in a square, and outside his front door is a bench that the council put there, and his dad opened the front door to put the milk bottles out late at night, and there laying on the bench, 3 feet from the front door, was John, out to the world. Not completely wrecked or anything, he was just laying there, dozing gently, and so his dad went across and, "John, what are you doing?" He went, "Oh, I walked on, I'm just having a rest." 3 feet from the front door? I'm just having a rest. The front door was there, the bench was there. I had to walk home, so I'm just having a rest before I complete the rest of the journey and come indoors. Here's Brian in Sutton. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning, Dan. Candyman.
Oh, thank you very much indeed. Pound off your licence fee for just the Candyman. So, Brian, what have you got for us, my friend?
Yeah, Spanish story.
OK, it's something 550 years of Spain this morning. Go on.
Yeah. Brother and our girlfriend.
Yeah.
Early 80s. We went to Fuengirola in a circular hotel with a circular swimming pool on the roof. Me and my brother, we sort of, about 1 o'clock, fed up with sunbathing, we go and disappear to the bar, leave the girls sunbathing, as you do. And this went on for a couple of days, and, on about the third day, they came down to the bar about 5 o'clock, and they were both crying. So we said, what's going on? What's the matter? Someone's upset. We thought, and what had happened, they said, there's a guy, he's dived in a swimming pool, he's had a heart attack and died.
Oh, my good Lord.
A bit of bravado, we've gone up there, up in the lift, and it was this weird scene of this poor old fellow, he's about 70, he was laying alongside the pool, and they'd taken our towels and covered him over, so he's got his big beer belly, and his thin little legs sticking out.
Your towels?
Our towels.
Your towels?
Our
oh,
towels.
No, this is a very...
I think the Germans would have got there first.
Did you ever... Did you want your towels back after that?
Well, we didn't, funny enough. But, I mean, the thing was, the really weird thing, they didn't shut the pool off, and it was a Sunday. And under Spanish law, that you can't be certified dead until, a doctor's been present. And you know what it's like, Spain and Sunday and all the rest of it. So it didn't happen. There was kids playing, parents were, like, looking around at each other. and it was like a bizarre scene. And it had been funny, and then the weirdest thing happened.
John O'Farrell said he's making notes for a prospective next novel. Yes. And kids were running around the dead person?
Kids were running around this dead bloke, yeah.
And just one, I know we're a little late for the 8:30 thing here, and I've got to wrap up with John. Forgive me, John, but this is, I think, an extraordinary tale. Do dead people tan? Did you notice him tanning?
I don't know.
He may never look better.
I know he put some sun cream
I
on,
know
it's
that
quite dangerous.
continue to grow.
I had to check that out because he may never have looked better. We'll get a doctor on after this and find out if dead people tan. How about this? I picked this up in Greenwich yesterday. Listen to this. Oh, it's good. Listen to this. Step to rag. I picked this up in Greenwich. I thought, I hope it's as good as it looks. Steptoe rag. Got it at home. I was thrilled. It was one of them where Wayne goes, "You keep playing that record for us. Terrible." No, it's going to be great. There isn't anything funnier. I really thought the actual theme to Steptoe was the final word. That was the accepted version of it. Until you hear this.
Yeah.
Is there any programme that can't be made funnier by a chase across town with that going? Oh, come on now. I suppose we better get after him. Bang. Cut to the outside footage. I see Tommy Cooper chasing a lorry driven by Spike Milligan. Yeah. Up come the titles.
A big red flag hanging off the back of it.
But old situation comedies. You see, old situation comedies when they used to go outside. The shocking, the footage used to look so different from in the studio, didn't it? Used to look on Technicolor or something. Just go bang. They're filming this outside. Never married up with the studio stuff. Here's Michael in West Dulwich. We're giving away the letters in Candyman, and simply, if you've got an absolutely blistering story that doesn't fit into any of the categories we usually bring you in the morning, but you've always wanted to tell it, and you think it would earn you your engraved name on a letter. Here is Michael in West Dulwich. Good morning, Michael.
Morning, Caravan.
Thank you very much indeed. Michael, this is the first time we've ever done this open door policy, and to say, just give us a story to knock our socks off and earn yourself one of the letters. What have you got, Michael?
Okay, well, a girlfriend of mine, her flatmate, took her nephew to London Zoo one day, and somewhere between the reptile house and the elephant house, lost him.
I can understand it. There's lots to see there, and so they're spinning around saying, "Well, he was here a minute ago." So, specifically between where and where lost him?
The reptiles and the elephant.
Okay.
But after all the screaming and shouting and trying to find him amongst all these sort of school trips, goes to the lost property place or lost kids, and obviously explains her predicament. And about an hour later, the park keeper turns up with him, looking extremely dishevelled and sheepish, not saying a word to anybody.
Right.
So she takes him home, and as soon as they get in the front door, he runs upstairs and locks himself in the bathroom, much to her annoyance and worry.
This is already a great story. I'm hanging on every word here. Go on.
So she's banging on the door trying to get in. He's not saying a word and not letting her in. So she's ringing all her friends, asking them what she should do, because it's her nephew. It's not, it's obviously parents and all that. So they advise her that she has to break in and find out what's going on. So she breaks in.
Now, let me hold you there, because everyone's on the edge of their seat. Kid goes to London Zoo. Kid gets lost between the reptile house and the elephants. Kid turns up an hour later with the zookeeper who's very dishevelled. Kid is obviously in a state of high excitement. They take Kid home. Kid then runs away from their grasp, goes up, locks himself in bathroom. Now they've gone upstairs. Opens the door.
It was the kid that was dishevelled, not the park keeper.
Okay, the kid was dishevelled. Okay, yeah, okay, yeah. All right. And?
So she breaks the door open, and he's sat in a full bath with a baby penguin.
He smuggled a penguin out of London Zoo?
In his backpack, he'd broken into the penguin enclosure, grabbed a baby penguin, and brought him home.
This man takes the C of Candyman. This man takes the C of Candyman. And sitting in the bath, naked with the penguin. Hang on, one second, Michael. I'm 46 years old, and that is the first time in all my life I've ever used the phrase sitting in the bath naked with the penguin. That particular phrase has never passed my lips before. And so they broke in. There he was with a penguin, and...
Well, she was just horrified, obviously, but the kid was having a whale of a time with the penguin. And
how was the penguin?
Well, the penguin was just swimming around trying to get away from him, I think.
What? Nobody had heard any kind of honk, honk, honk. Well, that's the noise they make when distressed.
It is indeed.
Honk.
I thought that was a sea lion.
Oh, that's right, it's a sea lion. You hear how that's played. Tomorrow morning we will be back to give away the rest of the letters, hopefully with yourself. You hear how packed it was. Well, we haven't even started yet. Happy birthday, Mark.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much for sitting over there, Amy. Thank you. Thanks to everyone. We're back at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. Eddie Nesta's next week. Go on. But anyway, David, maybe it was the tune. How about something really well known? Do you want to have a go at it, just to show the people you can keep time, meter and rhythm? How about that? How about this? How about a bit of go? We'll get on to the financial news in a minute. But, what do you think? Could you ever go at this? Now everyone knows this. Come on, you don't even need the words this. In your own time.
It's not unusual.
Yeah, I think we've got something there.
I think
we've got something there. Towards
you seem
the
to
end.
hit the beginning almost.
We're not quite sure what it is.
I think that'll be it. Good morning, David. So what have you got for us?
I just want you to know, that I really practiced very hard for that, and but
it was a catastrophe and a disaster, and people thought you were just putting it on, but you genuinely had a go, didn't you?
I did have a go.
People thought you were doing the old Les Dawson at the piano.
Yeah, exactly. With his brain.
Yeah.
Except instead of a piano, he uses his mind.
The difference is that people aren't going to sit around and go, actually, he is really good.
So, try something slower. Try this one. Here we go. If you've never heard the show before, this is our financial roundup, ladies and gentlemen. So, David Quay is going to attempt to sing a song, any song, by the end of the week. Hang on. I'll cue you in, David. Cue.
The old hometown looks just the same. as I step down from the train. And there to meet me is my mama and papa.
Yes, we're getting it. This is great. This is great. Go on.
Down the road I look, and there comes Mary.
Go on, David.
Hair of gold and lips like cherries. It's good to touch the green, green grass of home.
George, he's done it. He did it.
On 94.9 FM, this is BBC London.
Listen, I've already been having to hand out pounds to people who are saying I'm the candy lady.
How about this? And so this is the epidemic we've started now. This is why I sometimes say we've got too many listeners and we've got to start culling them. I'm in Covent Garden yesterday, and as you know, helpfully around Covent Garden, it is 40 pence for 5 minutes parking time, yes?
Yeah.
Is it 40p for 5 minutes?
40p for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That'll be just...
That'll keep the riff-raff
exactly.
out.
It does keep the riff-raff out, and usually I'm in favour of that. But it's very difficult. How much change?
Yeah.
They don't take credit cards either to make it easy. So anyone who's ever tried to park in central London knows this. So I'm standing there eking out 20 pence. Anyway, I figure I needed 2 hours. Needed 2 hours. Now I've got every 50 pence, 10 pence going into this thing, rattling him. I'm there for about 2 minutes. I'm getting towards the end of it. The fellow came up and put his hand on my shoulder and said, "Morning, Candyman." And I said, I always said the same thing. I said, if I had the paperwork, you could have the pound. He went, "No, come on." And he left for me to a pound. That's absolutely true. And I said, "No, mate, honestly," and he legged it down the road. And I had to curtail a very important business meeting, I'll have you know, because one of the riffraff lifted a pound out of my hand. I had enough to sit there and park for 2 hours. And he went, "Lovely," and he took it and he walked off. And I was going, "Mate, I'm not joking, I really need it." And he just crossed the road and kept walking. Thank you very much, listenership. Where you go, Ola? Good morning, everyone. Here now is Norman in West Wickham, who's going to... he's fought through the amount of people who... He's fought through the ape creatures to get on the air and say, "I've got something about showbiz history." What have you got, Norman?
Good morning, Candyman.
Thank you very much. That in itself, I suspect in about 20 years' time, people who have collected their pounds from us will be able to come into private company and say, "Look at that." So go on, what have you got?
I was actually at the recording of The Blood Donor by Tony Hancock.
My dear, you know, here I go. I am literally down on a knee. And I don't do this like pub hams do, or I rarely do this. I'm broadcasting to you on a knee at the moment. You were at the television or the radio version?
It was at the BBC Television Centre at White City.
Yeah, I'm still on one knee. This is just
no, I mean, that was the famous one, which they did a broadcast of it afterwards, but it was the television.
I'm not, you're talking to me now.
We know
of course,
intimately.
It was just after his car crashes when he had to read everything off idiot balls. That's why he looked so distracted, doesn't he? Do you know that? He actually did have the car crash about 3 days before he recorded it. I don't know if you were aware of it in the audience.
Not at all.
Yes, but Tony Hancock did that. So at the time, Matt, you were aware you were in perhaps the high watermark of British sitcom. Did you know you were in history?
Well, I was certainly always a Hancock fan from the radio days, and you know, one never knew how great that was going to be, how it was going to go down in history. There was an interesting story as how I came to be there, because a friend of mine was working at the French government tourist office at the time, and part of his job was to get clips of France onto TV when the TV broke down instead of the potter's wheel. And so he knew someone there at the BBC Television Centre and was kindly invited along to a show, and he took me with him. So we saw the show, and the whole thing was recorded in 35 minutes.
You're kidding?
Wow.
It went straight the way through, and if you recall, there was after he'd given the blood, he was back in his own flat, and he cut his hand, and then there's a shot across on the screen with an ambulance.
An ambulance going towards it just before he says, banks are just like real banks, really, aren't they? Bung it in when you're flush, pull it out when you need it. Yes?
And then the next shot is when he's having his own blood back. Well, that was recorded when there were 2 sets on the stage. There was the one set where he had where he cut his hand, and whilst the clip of the ambulances going was on the screen, he ran across the stage to the other end and got into the other set, and then it went straight on.
Good grief.
Wow.
Even the ones we admire, like 40 Towers, we heard it on, took 3 hours. Hancock did The Blood Donor in
35 minutes.
Almost in real time.
Absolutely.
That's extraordinary.
We need this book out there. Everyone should get on top of this. The oral history of British entertainment. People, not who were part of it, but people who saw it. I think we've stumbled on something here. Well,
the other
on one knee, by the way. Go on.
Yeah, the other interesting thing was at the end of the show, we were invited up to the club upstairs to the bar.
Yeah.
And after a while, he came down into the bar wearing a large sweater and just sat on the bar having a drink all on his own, completely morose, and did not join with anybody else there at all.
I'm afraid, I don't consider myself a nuisance and a bore. I don't consider myself a nuisance and a bore. But I would have had to have gone across. I mean, history or otherwise, or upsetting the great man, I would have had to have gone across then. But who knew? Who knew even at the time what you were doing? And in honour of that, I'm going to play a little of this.
Hello. What's the matter? Over the road's going out. Shh, say nothing. Shh, quiet. Look behind the curtain, don't let them see you. That's the first time they've been out together for ages. I wonder where they're going.
She found out about him and that girl, you know.
Never.
He said he had to work late and she saw them that night in the pictures. Shocking row.
Was there?
Yes, she was with the milkman.
Our milkman? The one with the big nose?
Yes.
He gets around, doesn't he? There was that trouble with number 28 last month. And there was the punch-up with the husband at 31. You wouldn't think he'd attract women with a hooter like that. Must be the uniforms, you know. Women love uniforms. Oh, look, he's opening the gate for her. Dear me, times have changed. He always used to slam it and try and fetch her shins a wallop.
Actually in the audience for the blood donor. Of course, that's the Sunday afternoon at home. Featuring Hattie Jakes, who another of our listeners concocted the coffin for.
Yes,
I can
indeed.
only apologise. Let us lighten the tone with some circus music. Good morning, everyone. If you've never heard us before, then, hello. I couldn't think of anything ingratiating.